All right, guys, we're back with I think it's episode 4. We're gonna be
Yes,
talking
sir.
about, we're gonna be talking about self care today. Oh, I'm on it. Yep, we're gonna be talking about self care today,
Self-care, self-growth,
self growth,
love
hygiene,
of
all that.
oneself.
Yeah, all that fun stuff today. Um, we're just gonna be highlighting things about our lives, and hopefully can be able to spit some knowledge towards hopefully the younger population, or better yet, our population, our generation of people that maybe don't necessarily know these skills or need a little help to motivate themselves. I want to point out, though, before we start, that my co-host Mokiba is editing a YouTube video right now, and this is going to be a topic that we're talking about, is time management and discipline with oneself. And the fact that he's editing a YouTube video and is still dedicating time to help me out in this podcast today and not leave me alone and do this alone, he's able to still help me and utilize his time wisely versus with his own self. And
Yeah, so that I'm not just, focused on just my editing, but I'll be doing the podcast as well. And like he was saying, I'm all about bettering myself, and I want to start going the extra mile so that I can get things done. And I mean, I feel like I can kill two birds with one stone here per se.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
for
what I'm
sure.
doing.
Yeah, so the first topic that I wanted to talk about today with self care, guys, is one's self worth with themselves. Like self growth, self worth, all that kind of ties into one topic. So you got to learn. Let's put it this way: you got to learn to love yourself in life. It's the only way you're going to be able to walk through life with your head up held high, and
Oh yeah,
people
for sure.
not and people not like knocking you. You know what I mean? Like I see too many people these days like not keeping themselves held up into the world, and they get knocked down by others, and they don't understand their own self gratitude and worth, and being able to keep moving forward with the things that they love to do and things that they want to do. I don't know. Is that something you agree
I
with?
I
I
would
mean,
definitely I would agree. I see a lot of people, I would say, following trends, not like, keeping their head up high and like sticking through the bullshit, but like people like um just, becoming accustomed to just kind of satisfying everyone else, like that is almost like a um preset mindset that we have, like the society is kind of force our perception to please others. Like, I just bought a pair of shoes because they're super cool, but I also know that people know they're super cool, and you know that's might be a reason why people get those shoes. I personally got these shoes because, for one, yes, they're fucking badass, and from I think it was sixth grade I wanted them when I first got into fashion. But there's people like hype beasts, for example, that kind of just, I feel like their whole reason is just to get the coolest stuff to be cool and please others. Like they're so addicted to the likes, comments, and the that shit.
like
Like,
like comments and follows and all that. Like people,
yeah,
yeah,
like,
like
how many
they
people can see me wearing this cool ass fucking North Face Supreme jacket or whatever?
and then they
Like,
yeah, and then they
who
try to
cares?
follow you. Yeah, like per se, like who cares? Yeah, but or they'll hit you up. They'll be like, "Hey, where'd you get that North Face hoodie?" And it's like it doesn't matter where I got it. Like if you like it, you can go find it and get it for yourself.
We'll find it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
shouldn't.
it shouldn't be about bragging, like, because that's what it is, and that influences people to like, well, I need to brag, I need to show off, I need to stunt, even though I don't have that much. And I feel like what tying back to what you were saying originally, people just need to keep going and ignore all those like distractions per se, and focus on themselves, and like, you know find things about you that makes you cool, rather than, I guess, for me, putting on pieces of fashion, or pieces of clothing, and trying to get people's attention, even though I don't really do that. I wear what I like because I like it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But
It's not like you're. It's not per se you're putting it on to get people to want want to be like you. You know, you're getting them to show them like, hey,
you
this shit
can
is cool. You can wear what you want to wear, and you don't have to worry
and
about
style
what
it,
people
you know.
want. Yeah. 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 No.
Exactly.
No, I agree. No, I totally agree with that. It's
Because I'm all about the recycle, renew, and reuse shit, you know, that I talked about last time.
Yeah, no, I'm totally down with that too. Like, I think I have a shirt. Like, I've gone thrift shopping before for like clothes, and people look at me and they'll be like, "Damn, dude, your outfit's hard as hell. Like, where'd you get it?" And I'm like, "Dude, I mean, I go around to like yard sales or I'll go around to like Goodwill, and it sounds cheesy to like say I shop at Goodwill, but it's like, dude, that's where almost all of the cool clothes are. And people don't understand that. There's so much stuff at like thrift stores and like Goodwill and like you don't need to go to Target or get the name brand thing. Like I have a Hugo Boss pea coat and I bought it for $80 at like a thrift store, and it's Hugo Boss. Like you can, it's like a $500 pea coat. Like you can, you know what I mean? Like you can find things for the low, and people will clout chase. And I agree with you. Like they'll follow people and they'll
It's
follow trends.
self-destructive at the end of
Yeah.
the day. It really is. Because, like, not only are you wasting your time and money, but, like, when I reflect about the times where I used to buy fake sneakers just because I wanted to have Yeezys, but I couldn't afford them, but I could afford the fake ones instead of, I mean, I was just retarded back then. I should have just saved up for a real pair. But
Right.
like, and honestly, you know, that's just what I was doing. I was like reviewing fake sneakers on YouTube and trying to like show the best replicas because I just couldn't afford the real ones at the time. And um I wanted that attention. And looking back at it, it's just like, dude, I should have been focusing on building my own brand or like saving up money for a freaking real pair of Yeezys or, you know, like I just like I spent my time really, I guess, wrong, you know, and that would be the self-destructive, you know, aspect of, I guess, my lifestyle of fashion or my career choice. And you know, it just it's almost like it happens a lot with just things in general, you know, people with cryptocurrency or cars or um, you know, shit like that. I feel like people do a lot of self-destructive things, and we need to touch base with that and try to better ourselves as people and um, go forward. Hang on, my girlfriend was going downstairs.
Oh,
Or
that's
my fiance.
no, yeah, that's yeah.
Um,
You gotta make sure you iterate that. You don't want to hear
but
hearing this.
but no, like you know, like I feel like we need to do things differently so that we can reflect rather than just kind of go based off instinct. And I mean, obviously, when something new comes out, your first instinct is you want to buy that to have it because it's cool, you know,
Yeah,
inevitably to show it off, you
yeah,
know, because like
like those
look
new
what I got.
LeBrons and stuff. You heard about that whole LeBron thing?
The
Like when they went
LeBrons
to the
have gone
LeBron
up in
store.
price. A little bit. LeBron's shoes, I'm pretty sure, have gone up a lot.
I think it has, but like people
Same
were
for
getting in
KD's.
line. Remember the shooting that happened, or like the people got beat up in line because they were like clout chasing for the new shoe and like they couldn't have it and they were
There's
mad that other
fights
people
that
had it.
happen. There's fights that happen.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with this. It's like self worth and self growth. It's like you can have nice
There's
things in
other
life.
ways to
Yeah,
get nice things to get what you
exactly.
want rather than, you know, and
Physical
it's all about
violence.
having a balance, you know, and a lot of people don't know about it. There's like solutions to this stuff, but um one thing I want to talk about with like the self growth and building oneself, I think that's really important is just remembering, you know, your goals in general, you know. Um Having like a dry erase board or a memory board is super beneficial in the long run. You pretty much just capture your thought and it just stays there, you know. And whenever I guess I would forget about it, I would eventually look at that board. So, and then I would get reminded of it. And then it's just that persistence, you know, and you're just continuing on a daily basis at that point, seeing that board and getting reminded of your goals. And then you kind of just put that action towards it. a little bit,
Yeah.
and
No, I get
then
it. Yeah.
it inevitably becomes real. You manifest it that way, you know.
Yeah, because manifesting, I think, is a real thing. Like if you,
Oh, it is. There's
like,
no way it's not.
no, because like at Chick-fil-A, man, when I used to work there, like 2 years ago, I would manifest like that I'd be drive-through director, and a month later, manager came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to be the new drive-through director?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, I've been saying this for the past like 6 months. Hell yeah, I do. Why not?" And I got it. And everybody's like, "Alex, you totally manifested that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And that's just because I put my goals and aspirations before anything else. I wanted that in life at the time, you know, but
Yeah.
but COVID kind of messed that all up. But that's no problem. Like I'm not worried about it, because once one door closes, another one opens for you, and
Oh no, that's a great point that you just said. The one door closes, another one opens. You actually, with self growth, sometimes you have to close doors that you didn't really want to close for you to be comfortable again, and to receive new things, to receive new doors being opened and new connections or whatever.
yeah. No, I remember. I don't know if you remember, but in high school, I tore my whole leg, like my whole knee. I had like a
Oh,
few
damn.
scholarships set up for college and stuff, and I had colleges set up for, you know, like scholarships for honors student and stuff like that, and I ended up losing most of those because I wasn't able to continue sports for a while after that, or basically continue them for the scouts senior year. So I ended up losing those, and that's no problem because another door opened for me. I think I went to college for about a year and a half because I had 32 scholarship or 32 credits when I graduated high school, and like I went there for a year and a half, and then I ended up joining the military for about a year, and then yeah, and then guess what? I re-injured my knee, and so when that happened, that was me basically going, okay, life wants me to take a whole new route. It wants me to erase what I've thought I was going to be doing and start doing things that I didn't think I was going to be doing. And that's where I'm at now. I'm a manufacturing engineer basically. I'm not going to really say I'm an engineer, but like I'm a manufacturer. Like I make armored plating for the military. I do a bunch of things for Acuity brands and stuff like that. I create things with blueprints and I can make them. I'm very hands on, and I think that's a very big thing with self growth. Is not many people know what they're worth in life. Not many people understand that they need to fail. Like they don't understand that is a part
Yeah.
of life, and that's where you're
To
here
find
for.
your to find the bigger picture and like almost your higher self, like to connect with that, you have to like go through situations that you never wanted to face, like um to pretty much evolve, go to the next step.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry, I'm rolling a J.
no, you're fine. That's your self care right there.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, it's awesome. I mean,
Freaking
it's something you love to do.
meditate.
I mean, you love to do it. It's a coping mechanism. We can iterate coping into
It
this too.
definitely is a coping
It's
mechanism, and
it's
and it's actually that itself can actually be a negative, thing. If I always like rely on it, that can definitely fuck me up. And I try not to do that for sure. Like if I get upset, smoke right away, and I don't really do that. Or
right.
at least I try not to. I mean, there will be times where I'm like, I'll be a little stressed out, and I'm like, I'll just smoke, and then I'll be fine. But at the end of the day, if you ever have a problem, I always think you should face it head on in the moment. There are times where you might need to take some time to think about it, but I mean,
Right.
the longer you wait, the bigger the problem
It's
can
yeah,
get,
yeah, the worse, yeah, the deeper it gets. Cause
And that can be with self growth too. The longer you hold something off, even if it's like going to the dentist, that cavity can fucking lead to an infection and all that stuff.
lead to you having to remove your teeth. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a slippery slope, as one would say. It's
And
like if you
that's, I guess,
don't,
being
yeah,
lazy. I guess that
yeah,
would be the lazy, part of that, the self care. Like if you're lazy and you don't take showers or brush your teeth, you're gonna be kind of just a piece of shit at the end of the day,
Yeah,
literally,
because you don't know how to act. Like you think that this lifestyle of being, not I wouldn't say gross, but being not hygienic. That's another topic. But being
Not
not,
self-aware,
yeah,
being
being
self-aware, bro.
yeah, being self-aware with things in life. It's like you need to be, you need to clean your room every time you wake up. Maybe not necessarily do that, but you need to make your bed at least. Doing little things around the house. Make your bed in the morning
Like,
before you
do
go to
your
work.
laundry, do your
Do your
dishes,
laundry. Do your
if you
dishes.
see
Yeah.
dirty dishes, do your dishes, like
Oh,
all
right.
those little things will make you literally feel better. Like, I'm not joking. I had like some dirty dishes that I like wanted to do but didn't do, and it went on for like, I guess 4 days was I think my breaking point, because it was between me and my fiance who's gonna do them. And I mean, I just was like, all right, I'll just do them. It's typically my job to do the dishes and all that, and I just like cleaning. But sometimes I'll be lazy and not want to. And I guess this was a situation where I kind of put it off too long. And as soon as I did the dishes, dude, I felt so much better about just me and my house, and like I felt like I was moving forward with my life rather than just kind of like stuck. And I guess that's what clutters and like not having self-love and care can do to you, is like literally make you feel like you're not progressing at all.
Yeah, like you're on a treadmill that's going nowhere
Literally.
versus a treadmill that is, you have a goal, you have an admiration, or not an admiration, but an
Ambition
admirable goal to hit. Like
yeah, yeah.
you get stuck. You're on a treadmill that's going 2 miles an hour versus a treadmill that's going 7, because you're not trying to reach your goal. You're trying to just fight
get by.
your
You're
problems.
maintaining.
Yeah. You're trying to maintain what you think is right, but not fixing what you know that you're doing wrong in life.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, and that has a big thing to do with hygiene. It's like self. It all has stuff to do with, because if you can't manage to take a shower at least once a day, because that's all people ask for. Take a shower once a day. I don't give a damn when you take the shower. You can take it in the morning.
Shower,
You can
brush
take
your
it at
teeth.
night. You know what I mean? You can take it in the afternoon. If you have kids and you don't have time to take a shower in the morning, take it in the afternoon. Take your kid in the shower. Or if you're alone, or if you have a girlfriend or a wife or something, and she or shower with them. Yeah, if you can't feel motivated to get in the shower, hop in with them. Do something that gets you motivated to do those things versus holding yourself back. And
I'll be honest, music is a great thing for that shit.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Music makes everything funner. I love showering and having music playing in the background. I love, cleaning and having music playing in the background. I have my AirPods in. I'm doing my dishes or whatever. Also, another thing that I want to say is making sure you fucking eat food. Like, seriously, that is a huge thing, and should probably be the first thing. After you wake up, have a drink of water so you get your freaking digestive system going, and you get your mind and thoughts flowing and all that. I mean, I wait till 9:30 to have like my first meal.
Yeah,
and,
that's when
I get up
have
usually at 5:30, and because I'm usually hungry. I have like hunger pains in the morning, so that's why I try to eat as soon as possible. But I try to have it set on a schedule. But if I miss my first meal, that literally makes me
it ruins your day.
Mindset. it does. It sets it up for failure. But I swear to God, the past 2 days that I've had breakfast on time, I have felt like I've had a normal day, and like I've not really, quote unquote, hated life.
Well, and your day goes by faster. Like you get through the hard part of the day, which is work.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Work is a hard part.
You have the energy to do it, and I mean, I'll go to work and I'll have thoughts of like, I just want to go home. I used to, have thoughts of like, man, I need to stay here for as long as possible. I don't have those thoughts anymore. I want to eat my breakfast. Like, I want to have just a schedule now when I go to work. I think about what I'm going to do when I get home, how I'm going to better myself, and if I miss that first meal, it throws off all of that. Like, I don't remember that stuff. I don't remember what I wanted to do that day or whatever. Things just get distorted a little bit. But when I do eat, I come home and I accomplish my goals. because I have the energy to. You know, I'm not tired. I don't want to just lay down, smoke, play video games. You know, I don't want to do that shit. I want to get out. You know, go on a jog. You know,
Right. Yeah. No.
so
And
eating is a huge thing.
yeah, because
Give your temple, you know, energy that it needs to keep going, to create.
yeah, because that's the thing. So, so that's the thing. So eating is a big thing to do with your creativity skills. You know, if you don't eat, you don't have creativity skills like you should have them. Sorry,
No, your
my,
ability
my Russian
is
accent's coming out.
no, you're good. Your ability to create is definitely altered. It is disrupted, if you will say.
Right, because it clouds your memory. It clouds what your judgmental skills need to be for the day, and that's the thing. I think I wake up at like 5:30 every day. You know, I do some sit ups, I do some push ups. I can't do push ups right now because my hand, but I do sit ups. I make my bed. You know, I'll go down and make a protein shake. You know, because I'm on like a high protein diet right now, but I'll make a protein shake at like 6 a.m. I'll drink it. 6:30, I head to work. I get there by 7. You know, I work for 2 hours, then I have my first break. Then that's when I eat my breakfast. It's about 9:15 is when I eat my breakfast. Um, and then I have a lunch around 11, and then 1:30 is when I have my third meal of the day. And that's kind of like, not like my dinner per se, but it's like a snack. It's like a mid snack to keep me going.
Yeah, you have to actually have snacks throughout the day. You're supposed to, as a person, is what they say.
Yeah. No, I agree. So let's tie that in. Then let's tie that into. Would you think disciplines with oneself is something to do with that, like disciplining yourself
Oh,
to do things?
discipline is all of this that we've been talking about. You know, you have to have the discipline, dude, to get out of your bed and do sit-ups, you know, and get yourself to work and breakfast and, you know, dress and all that. And if you can't do that, you have the worst discipline, you know, I think ever. If you're not able to take care of yourself, you really have no discipline at all. You don't actually care about yourself, you know? And it's sad because, I mean, I see a lot of people and I know people that don't really take care of themselves. And I'm not judging them because I don't know what's going on with them mentally, physically, emotionally. But
But
for me,
yeah,
it feels better to have self-discipline because when I catch myself being lazy, I'm just like, I get really bummed out. I'm like, man, I'm not going anywhere,
yeah,
you
you get
know?
depressed. You start doubting. You start doubting your thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's where the evil comes in, you know? Like that's when the like there's like two sides to everybody, you know? There's the red and blue per se. Or
right.
that's what I say, you know. I feel like there's the good, which would be the blue, the red, that would be the bad, and then if you have a balance, you would be purple, and that's why I do the middle finger nail polish on my middle fingers. But that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
but like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no.
if you don't care, you're allowing that red side, you know, the bad side of you or the bad version of yourself to like kind of take over, and then you just get deeper and deeper in that, and you might miss a day of working out, and then you know it just becomes this thing where like you have to basically start over.
It
You have
becomes a
to
trend.
come up
Yeah.
with new goals, you know, you have to come up with reasons and excuses for all these things that are going wrong, and you know it's hard to point the finger at yourself, but you know I don't really see a lot of people doing that, you know?
Yeah, I think that's one thing. If you can figure out how to point out the obvious things that are wrong in your life, not necessarily, let's not put wrong as the word, but put let's put
The
it this
things
way:
that
things that are drawing you
you,
to different ideas. Things that are
I would,
making you overthink
I would say things that are distracting you from what
from
you're originally trying to do, you
right,
know? And that would become, that would where the laziness, that is where the laziness would, you know, seep in.
right. Yeah, I mean, because once you figure out like, and that's the good point. Like once you figure out what you want to do in life, you put it into motion and driving yourself towards that goal, and you start doing things that you know are gonna better that end goal and not ruin that goal for yourself. No, I agree. That's
But if you what we were saying earlier with like if you like have like a negative look on it, or like if you're not like taking care of yourself, not eating, or like showering, doing those little things that like make you feel better at the end of the day, if you allow the laziness to take over, you're just setting yourself back. You're literally going backwards with your goals. Everything you've accomplished, you can pretty much just like kiss goodbye, because you're gonna have to start over. And I've so many times caught myself almost slipping, or I've had to start over, And one thing I wanted to expand on this with is by saying like, forgiving yourself too for making mistakes. And this ties into the self-love, because self-love is also about forgiving yourself, for things that you might do wrong, quote unquote,
right, because it's not, because let's put it, it's not necessarily you're doing things wrong. It's more like, you've hit roadblocks, or you've hit speed bumps in your life that you need to
you've hit a stunt,
you need to overcome.
Or a challenge that you haven't, like you said, you haven't overcome it yet,
you just have to face it. Yeah, you can't run. I mean, life isn't about running. The more you run, the more you're gonna overthink life, and the more you're gonna start, thinking that you're a failure, thinking that life sucks. And I went through that. I mean, trust me, dude, when I got out of the military and, on that injury, I went through that. I was like, damn, everybody's going to hate me. Everybody's going to think I'm a failure. I overthought everything. And that's one thing I had to get over in life, is I need to stop overthinking the negative things and possibly change it and overthink the positive things that happen in my life. I got out of the military and my friends still loved me. I had to keep in the fact that they still loved me. They still thought I was cool. Not necessarily being cool is a bad thing, but I hate you. No. No, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. No, but
no, you don't.
No, but it's things that you have to. It's things you have to face. You definitely have to face the wrongs, but you definitely need to face the right things you've done and learn from them. Because maybe the right things weren't necessarily the correct things, but they were the right things to get you where you want to be, but not
where you necessarily thought they would be, or you didn't necessarily thought they would be the right, choices to make.
Right. Yeah. No. And that's a big part. That's a big part in the in planning out your life and executing your life. And that's something that you have to sit down with yourself. You can sit down with yourself in front of a mirror. And I do this sometimes, before I get in the shower, I'll just look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what did I do today? What did I accomplish? What do I need to accomplish tomorrow? And then when I go to bed, I dream about what I need to accomplish, and I dream about the positive things, and I try to exclude the negatives. So when I wake up, I'm in a more happier mindset. I'm in a way of thinking where I'm not going to fail the next day, per se.
Man, some motherfuckers have nightmares, bro.
No, but I mean, yeah.
Like sometimes I have nightmares where like I'm gonna fuck up, like I'm gonna fail, like I'm not gonna be who I want to be, and like
right.
I have weird dreams, but touching to what you were saying about how like kind of just like reassuring yourself, or like reflecting,
Yeah,
I think that's a huge thing. I think that's something that everyone should do, whether it's in a journal, because I have a journal, and that really helps me. Like, kind of just like if I ever want to go back to see what I've done or have accomplished, I actually have physical proof. I don't have to kind of rely on my brain, or whenever I get Alzheimer's or whatever. I'm not like 100% clueless.
Yeah.
I actually have someone to show me pictures, or I have something, something physical, and I feel like having something physical is better than having something memorable. Is that even the word?
No. Okay, no, I see what you're saying here. I'll help you out. So having something physical, like having a photo, having memories to show yourself like what you've done, is better than trying to remember what you've done, because your memory is tricky. Your memory's got a lot of different things
Oh
going
yeah,
on,
yeah.
and it's not always correct. Me and you. Let's
So
put
yeah,
this into
writing
perspective. Me,
down.
me and you could me and you could have a fight, but 3 days earlier, in the present or in the past, I could have had a great time with you at a bar or something. We could have had the time of our lives at a bar, together. And then 3 days in the future, we get in a huge fight, and I'm like, damn, I really don't know what I did wrong that night, because say it's about that night, but yet me and you took photos that whole night, and I can go back in those photos and I can just look and at those videos and
Oh, I
see, you
spilled
know what
on
I'm
his
saying? Yeah.
shoes. That's what pissed him off.
Yeah, I can be
Something
like, oh,
like
that's what
that. Yeah,
pissed him off. That's why he's not talking to me for 3 days, or something
yeah.
like that. But that's something
Which
that
that
could
hasn't
help.
happened, just so
No,
everybody
yeah, no,
knows.
that's never happened. I've never been mad at him, except when I beat him in Call of Duty. He gets,
Oh,
heated.
I got mad. Damn, this kid is crazy. Man, at Prism, if you listen to this, bro, you need to go head to head with this dude. Freaking insane, bro. Your accuracy, bro, is crazy.
I'm too. I don't know.
Anyways,
Yeah, no. Anyway, we,
anyways, like yeah, being able to reflect is huge, and I feel like what you were saying and what I was saying is having something physical is definitely a step above trying to remember everything, but you know, that's just a huge part of being able to like progress is remembering, your progression, to take a step back and be like, look how far I fucking came. I've made a difference from what I previously was. I started from here and I'm here. And just that little bit of reflection can be a huge amount of motivation to keep going forward, to excel in an area that, you thought you were maybe failing in.
right. Yeah, and that's like the whole thing. It's just like, it's just planning out like what you've done. You know what you've done in the past. Like in the military, I had a journal too, and I wrote down everything when I was getting ready to come home, because they were getting ready to send me home, and they told me to get a journal, and they told me to write down what I'm gonna do in life when I get out, and what my future is gonna look like. And I wrote down everything, and guess what? I'm doing it. I'm doing everything I wrote down. I still have that journal. Like I
Dude,
still
that's
look back
cool.
at it. I told myself when I was there, I'm gonna come out of this thing. I'm not. I mean, I didn't tell myself I wasn't gonna be shitty, but like I was shitty at it. But it was. It's nothing I could have done. If you put it that way, I couldn't have done anything different. I tried to stay. But they wouldn't let me. It was just too big of an injury that it was too risky to keep me. And I get it. So I wrote down that I'm gonna use my advanced manufacturing degrees. I'm gonna use all my knowledge. I'm gonna use all my certificates that I earned through the years of studies. I studied for a very long time to become an engineer, and I'm in a career field where I can grow into becoming an engineer, a mechanical engineer, which is what I want to end in life with. I want to end up with a wife, and I want to end up with a kid, but I also want to I want to have my dream job too. I don't want to go back down a life where I'm not going to be able to continue my dream job. I want to keep this job and enjoy, where I'm at. And I do, and I want somebody to enjoy it with me, and things like that, of that nature. I want my friends to be there. I want, if I get a wife or if I have a kid, I want them to be able to enjoy what they have built for themselves, and also what I built for myself, and be able to grow continuously in life. And that's how my planning of my life is gone, is I want a continuation of success in my life. I don't want to hit another roadblock. Now, if that happens, it happens. What I'll do is I'll stop, I'll sit, I'll think, and then I'll just work around it with whoever I'm with, or if I'm alone, or if I'm with somebody, I'll sit down and think about it. Versus hit that roadblock and then start crying and breaking down and not knowing what to do. I want to sit down and talk it out with somebody, or talk it out with myself. You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of executing your plan, is being able to have people to sit down and talk to when you need to.
that, you know, because that's a huge thing. That's a support system that you're talking about, you know, like being able to have a really good support system, you know, whenever you do have a roadblock, you know, that's something that you can fall down on, you know, and be lifted back up, you know.
Yeah. And
One
yeah,
thing I want to say with the support system and you know, hitting roadblocks, it's okay to hit a roadblock, you know, to have moments of weakness where you're like maybe regretting a decision you just made. But at the same time, you know, if you even realize that you made that mistake, you're still moving forward. You know, you might have stepped back and then take a baby step forward, but you're still like remembering that, you know, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. So try to avoid it next time, you know?
right.
And
Yeah. Self-regulation.
obviously don't make it a habit to where it's like you keep fucking up, but like it's okay to hit roadblocks. It's okay to doubt yourself. It's okay to do that, but at the end of the day, remember that you're still able to keep going, you know?
Right. And in the end of the day, what's awesome is you need to learn, you need to remember who you are as a person, not who people think you are. You know, you need to remember who you are. Like, you're Aiden. You need to remember that you're awesome. You love clothing. You have a YouTube channel about your clothing. You have an awesome fiance. You have what, 3 cats and what, a dog or 2 dogs, whatever. You
A
know,
dog and a lizard.
a dog, a dog and a lizard. But you know you you have a you have an amazing life to where you know what your goals are. You know what you want to do. You're able to travel. You just went to Florida. You know you're. I mean, I'm able to travel too, but you know I have different.
We're blessed at the end of
Yeah,
the day,
we're
you know?
blessed. It's and people take this. People take blessed and spoiled, and they try to put them together, and that's what I don't like. People think like, oh,
Being
just
blessed is being spoiled. You know, you can have nothing but have everything. And it's all based off your fucking perception, you know? And like that's self-love. Being able to remember that you're blessed, you know, you're reminding yourself that, you know, you're worth something and that you have so much around you that's worth, you know, more than gold per se.
yeah, and that's something that people overweight. You know, they take gold and diamonds, and they're like, okay, I'm a piece of gold versus I'm a diamond in the rough. You know, I'm somebody that nobody is at all. I'm my own person. I know what I want to do, and I have a plan for my goals and aspirations versus you know, I'm gonna follow Aiden. I'm gonna go get clothes. I'm gonna go get shoes. I'm gonna go get Legos or Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't know, whatever. I know you don't do Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but you know what I mean. Like
I used to.
materialistic objects don't make you who you are, but they definitely help define you for you. You know, you have
Based on how you use them though.
right. You can't go get a Lamborghini and be like, "Oh, I'm the coolest badass dude in the world." That's not how that works. You know, you need
No.
something. You need something that is materialistic for you. You know, you have clothing and shoes. I know you love that, and that's something that you're gonna keep doing your whole life because that's something
Yeah, and
you
that at
truly
the end of the
enjoy.
day is
Yeah.
gonna help define me. And like you were saying, you know, and I mean that I guess at the end of the day would be, you know, me caring about what I care about more than what other people
Because it
care
doesn't.
about, I guess.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I get that. It doesn't matter what people care about in the end. It's how you see yourself.
because I'm gonna make these clothes look good on me, you know, because I want them to, and that's gonna make me feel good, not because
Because
of what
yeah.
they
Right.
want to see or whatever, you know.
You could put it in this. You could put it in this clothing line. Remember the clothing line that came out? I think a year and a half ago. It was crap. What was it? It was one off brand or something like that. Off white.
Oh,
And remember
Off-White.
how they had like all those
It's been
things,
around for a minute, but
but
it
people.
popped off a lot
It's because
recently.
people were clout chasing people who were wearing it, not based on you know. I could wear off white and say I look sexy as hell in off white. Aiden, you could go wear off white and say you hate the way you look in it. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't. You shouldn't buy something, and that's where it comes in. Like you're making clothing line for you specifically, but if people like it and people want to hop on it, that's for them to choose. You know, you're not like you're pushing it, but you're not pushing it in being like, Alex, I want you to come buy my clothing. I
Exactly.
think it would look awesome on you. It doesn't matter what you think it looks like on me. It matters what I think it looks like on me. You know what I mean?
And I want to make pieces that make you kind of like look at yourself and like, wow, I look really cool, you know, rather than, wow, the shirt is really cool, you know, because I want the person to wear it and feel good, you know. I want them to feel like they have something unique that makes them unique, you know. Um, if that makes sense, because everybody is unique and we all deserve things that are unique, you know, because we are unique.
Yeah, everybody's unique. Nobody's the same as anybody else. Like I'm not the same as let's put it like I'm not the same as Dylan. I'm not the same as Eli. I'm not the same as Aiden. I'm not the same as Chloe. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the same as you guys. But maybe I do like what you wear and maybe I want to go get something that you're wearing, but not based on the fact that I think it looks good on you, but based on the fact that I think I know I'm going to look good in it and I truly enjoy what you're doing, you know, because you're doing a very positive thing. You know, you're making clothing for people of all sorts, shapes and sizes and color to enjoy versus what you had in mind, because maybe you had in mind like, oh, this looks good on me and only me. That's not what you think. You know, I think what you're doing is you're doing a great thing where you're like, I'm going to make this and I'm going to make it beneficial for everybody to one day want to enjoy. And you're making a footprint, you know, based on, if you want to put it in the layman's terms, you know, you're making a footprint for yourself. You're setting yourself out there different from others to grow yourself and make yourself more, make people view you as more of a passionate human being towards your goals. You know, you're not trying to make yourself look like this egotistical maniac that wants just ego and clout, you know? Like if
Yeah.
that makes sense. You know, you're not being like I want, like obviously you want to get famous and stuff, but you're not like chasing clout right away. You're trying to do
I'd rather
things that
get
you
rich
love.
than be famous, bro.
I'd rather be famous too.
I would be. I want to just inspire people. I
I
want people to
yeah.
like take something away from, you know, I guess my character at the end of the day being like, whether it's like, wow, I want to be able to dress how I want to wear, you know, or I want to be able to say what I want to say or do what I want to do, you know. Obviously, if you're not fucking hurting nobody, you know, do what you want to do. But um, I don't know. I hope that's, if anything, that's what I am at the end of the day.
Right.
Um,
And that's what we want people to take
someone
away.
that influences, like, you know, like I want to, um, I want to live for others and not just myself.
Yeah, you want to be an influencer versus a follower. You want people to not necessarily want people to
A
follow you.
demonstrator
Right. You want to demonstrate then
instead of spectate.
instead of spectate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you don't want to be that person in the crowd that's always looking up at you and being, "Oh, man, I could be just like him." Yeah, you could be like him. Get your ass up and go be like him if you want to be like him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Go do the things that you want to do. Don't let people tell you like I've had so many people tell me my YouTube channel is going to fail. I'm not going to do good. I don't give a shit. I'm going to keep posting videos. I'm going to keep
And
doing
you're
what
going
I
to
love.
evolve on the way.
And I'm going to grow. I'm not going to I don't think I'm going to fail by any means. Like I do 1 or 2 podcasts a week, maybe 3, depending on the topics, you know, like we gotta, you know, but I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing these podcasts to like educate people and to have an audience that can grow with me and enjoy the content that I talk about and that, you know, I create with my friends and with you and things like that. You're my friend. I should have, my bad. I made it
You're
seem like
good.
you're not my friend. No, but
No,
you
no,
know,
you're good.
I want people to enjoy and listen to the things that that we're talking about. I don't want people to, you know, jump into these podcasts and listen and go, oh, he's just spitting out bologna, you know, sandwiches at me. Like, no, I'm trying to help and get people where they need to be in life and spitting my own failures and things. Like I'm okay with talking about everything I failed in life on here. I don't care. I'm an open book now. I'm at the point. I've hit a point in my life, Aiden. I don't know if you know, but I hit a point in my life where I just didn't care anymore about, not saying people's feelings, but the way people saw me as a person. I shut it out. You know, Aiden,
That's
you could come to
good.
me and be like, "Oh, Alex, you're gonna fail. You suck at this." I'm like, Aiden, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like if you said that to
Well,
me,
that's
I'm like, I don't
good.
care. I'm gonna keep doing it because it's something I love and I enjoy. I enjoy sitting on here and just, even if I'm spitting rambunctious stuff at people and it's, you know, maybe not helpful, but it's still insightful to just sit and listen. You know, it's just, I don't know.
I mean, it's better than sitting and playing video games, not doing shit.
Right. I you know, I could have easily came home today
Nothing wrong with that, though, if that's what you do.
and
Enjoy yourself. But, I mean, there are better ways to spend your time, let's be honest.
right. And that's how it comes down to it. Like if we want to get back into it, like weed, alcohol, video games, playing sports, hanging with friends, it's all coping things, you know? It's all spectator things.
Comfy
People,
things, I would say.
you say what?
Comfy things.
Yeah, find your
Does that make
comfy.
sense?
Yeah, find your comfy spot in life. Figure out like, I like playing. I'll play video games probably an hour a day, and that's just because I can sit and I can reflect on some of my day while I'm sitting here. You know, I can think about what I've done that day and just analyze and figure out how I can move forward with life versus staying on my treadmill at 2 miles an hour. I want to get back on it and go 6 miles an hour, seven. You know, up to whatever. You know, I want to keep moving forward. I want to keep pushing goals in my life. And I'll
That's the only way to advance is if you keep pushing. If you don't, you're not gonna get anywhere, dude.
yeah.
And I'm glad that, you know, you're like not like announcing that you keep pushing and you try, you know, when you fail, but like it's nice to hear someone say that shit, you know?
Yeah, it's just in the end of the day, it's like you
Because
can't. Yeah, go ahead.
all I hear people a lot of times just be like, man, I wasn't able to do this, or, you know, I wanted to do this, but I couldn't, you know, like, all right, well, that's fine. Try again tomorrow, you know?
Well, and then,
Try it until you do,
well,
you
and
know?
that.
I'm sorry.
No,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna come up with, or giving a quick
No, go
example,
ahead. Give
like
one. Give one.
searching for four-leaf clovers. Like, I find one every time I look for one, I find one. I'm not joking. Every time. And I found a five-leaf clover and two four-leaf clovers in one day, I think last Wednesday. And it was at the park with my mom and Zurich, my little brother, and Izzy, my little sister. And I was like, "All right, Izzy, Zurich, let's find some," you know. And Zurich literally found one based off of what I told him, and I was like, "Let's just try," you know. He found one. Izzy, she said she wasn't gonna find one. She said you know, she sucks at finding things like that, and she wasn't gonna find one. And I mean, I feel like she kind of spoke that into existence because she didn't find one. You know, she didn't really even try. She didn't find one. My mom, you know, said she never found one or hasn't found one either before in her life, and um, she kind of tried, but I could tell she was more focused on her phone, and it's just like, you know, you actually got to try, you know. And if you, like for Izzy, for example, if you don't find one, let's try to find one next time we go, you know, like not giving into, oh, I'm just a failure, and like reassuring yourself that, you know, like you're able to keep going even if you fail, you know. We need more people that talk about that stuff, talking about their failures, you know, that push them to success, you know.
Yeah, and that's another key thing. It's like if you keep telling yourself you're never gonna do something, you're never gonna do it. It's just
Oh yeah,
that's just how it's gonna be. Like if
you're gonna manifest that
yeah,
shit.
if I told myself I was never gonna take showers at night, I'm never taking showers at night. I'm just gonna get in bed smelling like ass. Now, I
Exactly.
take showers every night, and I try to take one in the middle of the day after I get home from work. But I usually take them as soon as I get home from work or I get home from working out, and that's just because I feel gross after that. But I know I'm motivated to at least go to the gym and at least sweat out, you know, the blood and stuff that I've I've brought in that day. Like if I'm at work and I'm thinking only negative stuff, I'm I'm gonna feel shitty. I'm gonna feel down on myself. I'm not gonna feel worth anything. So what I do is I'll go work out, or if I can't, like right now I can only do legs and cardio. So sometimes I'll skip a day of the gym and I'll come home and I'll play an hour of video games, or I'll watch some funny YouTube videos. I'll watch something that keeps me going, or I'll clean. I don't know. Like I love cleaning. Cleaning's super fun.
Things are self-care. All those things are things that should make you feel good, you know? So, I mean, like, I understand it where you're like, you know, you should totally feel good. You should feel like after, even if like you have, like, because when there's moments where you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I'm not going to do this, and you don't do it and it becomes a cycle, you know, like, that's self-discipline, you know, and there's ways for that to be good and bad, you know, like there's negative self-discipline, and like with what you're saying, like you be negative and you tell yourself you're not going to do something, you know, that's you're disciplining yourself, conditioning yourself, I should say, to be negative. You're conditioning yourself to not do what you're saying you're not going to be able to do, you know, and it's just like that is just it's kind of sad, honestly. It is sad.
Yeah, and I think that has something good to tie in. Like mental health has a huge factor. Look, I'm gonna put this out there. I'm not knocking anybody in like depression. I get depression. People don't think I understand depression, bro. My sister went through. I don't know if you remember this. I think you do, but my sister went through like 3 or 4 years of like suicidal depression. And let me put it this way: it's harder, I would say, for women, but I'm not gonna say it's not easy for men either. It's hard for men equally as it's hard for women. It's just men, we deal with things different. We take our aggression out on our depression versus other things, or we use drugs or alcohol. Like we find different pathways versus.
I feel like everybody kind of
versus everything has their own portal.
I know what you mean. I feel like it is more socially like known for men to kind of just keep quiet. Like boys are more tough and girls are more emotional, and it's just like that's not always true. And it's just like that is something I feel like we should like stray away from as a society, but it is sort of true as well, where it's like men are more known to just keep quiet. Like Chloe literally tells me like sometimes like you never really cry, and when I do cry she's like shocked because like we'll watch a really sad movie and I'll cry to it or whatever, but like I don't usually cry to anything else, unless like I'm really upset with about a situation that usually involves Chloe, not like she does anything bad or anything, but like I care about her so much, so my emotion is an open book, I guess. I don't know how really to describe that. Like I don't put on a tough act for Chloe, She sees me
sense.
as what I am. I feel like that should just be everybody all the time. It shouldn't be like because we're guys we have to
stay strong.
We have to act tough or whatever,
Yeah, I don't like that whole stigma with
and
guys.
That's like a horrible mental thing, that is like a like with what you were saying, mental health, like that's poor mental health. You're conditioning yourself to be somewhat fake, with with how you generally feel.
Right, versus being more open and direct, like, and that's where my whole thing comes with, like, sitting down and talking to your loved ones, talking to your girlfriend, wife, spouse, or that's not the spouse's wife, right? I don't know if I said that.
Yes.
It's the same thing. Okay. Talking to that person or talking to your parents or your friends, that's something that everybody should. That's something that everybody should do, I think, and I would say therapists help.
Not everybody does or can do that.
I would say therapists help, but they help to a certain extent, man. Like my sister, therapists only got her so far, and they couldn't. They stopped.
Help for only certain people,
right?
And that's nothing negative about therapists or saying therapists can't help people, but I'm saying for me, therapists don't work. It feels good talking about how I feel to just a neutral person,
But then it just comes back
but
to you.
at the end of the day, you're just talking about it, getting it out in the open, and it's just kind of sitting there now in the air. Yeah, I feel like it's more of like you as a person, and this is just with me. I have to like talk about it with myself, and I guess that's what people go to therapists for, is to just hear themselves talk, but like, or like try to get some third party advice. But with me, in my case, and my past trauma that I went for therapy over, the more that I do keep it retained and not talk about it with myself, or just, you know, um, try to reflect on it, and I guess that's what I should have said first, is not reflecting on it properly really like set me up for failure, where I was really depressed for a long time,
Because it just eats at you. It just
it does
eats.
eat at me.
It's like a
And I should be like,
parasite.
I should question why, this person treated me this way, for so long, or like why, they were able to do this, and like maybe it's just I should think about it as like that guy is just a douche, or he's just a bad guy, or a bad parent. And you know, I'm not the issue, and like, and then I guess I'll feel a little better or whatever. But like, just I guess talking about it with myself and questioning the situation rather than like trying to blame or like um
Blaming others,
find,
yeah.
yeah,
It's not.
like
It's
find,
finding
yeah.
a gateway to blame others. It's a loophole. It's a slippery slope. The more you blame
Is
others, the more it's gonna bounce back and affect you. It's kind of like when you point your middle finger at somebody. You have four pointing back at you. It's not. It's something you shouldn't do. You shouldn't put blame on others for your mistakes in life. They're your mistakes. They're not theirs. They're mistakes are blessings if you turn them the right way. If you turn a mistake backwards, it's actually a blessing in your life. You could, you could be in high school. There's so many 14-year-old girls in my high school, dude, that were like getting knocked up, and they were so upset about it. And I had to sit down and I talked to them, and I'm like, look, this can either be a blessing for you, or it could be your worst nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, it's your decision to figure out whether you want to make this a blessing. And I think birth and anything like that, and mental health, because that has a big thing with mental health, people having kids. It's like, kids are a blessing. You just need to treat it like, oh, I have a kid. That's something that's a blessing to you. It's helping you stay motivated, because the more you don't think about that kid, the more you're gonna doubt your life, and the more you're gonna be like, dang, should I really have had this kid? You know what I mean? You should just
okay.
have.
Tying into what you're saying right now,
Go ahead.
um, and not trying to interrupt you or change the
It's
subject,
a podcast.
because
It's a podcast. Interrupt me.
I just want to say and this is something that like helps me remember to like stay focused and be appreciative of what I am or who I am. My boss, has a few kids, and he's like 45 or whatever, and he told me like as soon as they turn 18, he gets his life back or whatever. And it's just like, to me, it's just like, it seems like he's lived his whole, I guess, I mean, half of his life, I guess, as a parent, kind of hating being a parent. And it's just like, there was a decision made to where he became a parent, but I feel like he took the wrong path and is now like having the wrong outlook on life, and I don't want to get to that point. And I feel like if you ever like feel as if because you have a child, you don't have a life, I feel like you really, really need to take a step back and, for one, apologize to that kid, because they did not ask to be born, and you owe them everything. They do not owe you shit. But you are creating a problem by pretty much saying, I don't have a life anymore, or my life will come back or whatever, and if he would have been like, I have an opportunity to be a better dad to my kids than my dad was to me, or turning into like a teacher, like showing them things, like turning it into like what you were saying, turning that experience into a positive rather than it letting it be like a burden. Because to me, it sounded like you're just talking about a burden, dude. Like you hate your kids that much, like damn, you know. And it's just like
No,
I don't want to
right.
be like that, and I don't want anyone to ever be like that. Um, because having kids is definitely not a bad thing. We're not all
It's a
in
good thing.
situations where we can have kids or properly take care of them. There's people that work jobs and have their kids in daycares or um, at home for an hour before they get home, or like there's situations that we all go through that are different, but it should never be a moment where your child is a burden to you. I feel like that is just horrible, and you're only like with when it comes to like bettering yourself and self love, you are putting yourself in a position where you're not or influencing someone's life. You're kind of being selfish, only thinking about yourself, and
Yeah, and
that's self destruct right
it's
there.
it's self destruction. It's not good. It's mental breakdowns. That's where mental
And that
breakdowns come in. It's like it's just you overthink your decisions you made. Like getting knocked up and having a kid, or even having a kid with somebody you love or loved. One or the
but
other.
like
I
all
mean,
that stress can lead to the depression that we were talking about.
it
Like
can. Yeah, for sure. It definitely can. Um, but it. But see, it's not a. Let's put it this way. It's not a. It's not a bad depression, if you don't want it to be. Because kids are very motivational. They're open thinkers. When I was a kid, I got told I should work for Disney because I had such a wild imagination, and my parents, they adopted me, and they love that about me, the fact that I have just a great imagination and that I'm openly wanting to help people in life and you know share my knowledge and experiences and things like that, and I like that. I like being able to open up and being able to share what I've gone through or what my family's gone through, because I was raised to be open and be nice and be generous and give back. And on Halloween there will be kids walking down the street looking sad, and I'll have a full sack of candy and I will just give them my bag of candy. Like I think I was like 7 years old, and I just gave this kid my bag of candy. I was like, "Here, you can have it," because he was crying on Halloween, and I felt bad, so and I just gave it to him, and that made me feel amazing. And I gave candy to some homeless people, and that made me feel even better. It's just like giving back to the world helps with mental health. I think a lot. Not necessarily saying you need to give like your whole life savings to people, but like here and there, dropping like $10, $5, anything you have, like spare change in your car to people, it definitely turns people's days around. It makes them happy. I have full conversations with homeless people before. Like I sat there for like hours talking to a homeless guy one time, and I turned his whole life around just by talking to him and motivating him to like get up and go find a job and go do this. I even helped him find a job, just to like get him back on his feet so he can even if he's still homeless, he's making money, so he's able to change his life around. Or if he uses it for drugs, that's his decision. But I want people to better their lives for good reasons, not because people are telling them to, just based on they want to do it. Not, hey Aiden, I want you to do this, go do this. Like I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to be like, oh, is that something I should do, and think about it. Not you know shrug it off and be like, fuck him, I don't want to go you know I don't want to go be a clothing designer. I don't think I'm going to be successful. No, like that's something you want to do, and you've been talking to me about it. And if I sit down and talk to you about it, I want you to still be motivated to go do it. Even if I say something negative about it, I want you to still be like, I don't care what he said. That's something I want to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of people who like negatively denounce people on things, and I want them to be able to, pick that up and be like, yeah, I don't need to listen to him right now. let me just keep doing this. Let me keep doing me. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I will find another avenue. I will find another street to go down. It's things like that that help with mental health. It's not necessarily saying you shouldn't care about what people have to say, because opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Everybody's got an opinion on what you're gonna do, but it's like if you wanna keep doing what you want to do versus listen to that person and be like, I'm gonna fail, I should just change my street. No, just keep doing your street until you fail. And if you don't fail, then kudos to you. You've succeeded. You've overcome what they said that you were gonna not do. It's
you've moved forward.
Yeah, you've moved forward. You've proven them wrong. Or the new terminology people are using, they slept on you. I don't know. That's some new terminology I saw going around. But
you got slept on, bro.
You got slept on. People would always tell me, like, dude, you're never gonna get back in the gym. You're not gonna get skinny. You're not gonna get fit again. Guess what, dude? I've lost 15 pounds and I've gained 10 pounds of muscle.
And you got that haircut, bro.
And I got my haircut. Yeah, and I did that in 7 weeks, and I'm still going. Think about my life in a year, 2 years. Like, I'm gonna be to the body that I want. And I told people, I'm like, I want to be The Rock, a third of The Rock. Now, obviously, I can't be him because he's, got multiple millions of years put on to working out every single day. But, I could be a third of him. And I've been saying that every time I go to the gym. I'm like, I'm going to work as hard as he does in the gym so I can get to where he got, but to a third of his progress. Like, I want to be something. I want to keep my goals going. I don't want to just be like, I'm going to go to the gym. Those people that say they're going to go to the gym for like a week, like on New Year's, they're like, oh, my New Year's resolution, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to work out, and then they go for a week and then they're done. I'm not that type. Like, I want to go to the gym and I want to keep going. Even if I shorten my days at the gym, like I do 3 a week instead of 6 like I'm doing now, if I do 3, I'm still going. I'm still eating right. I'm still doing things that I love. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that helps with mental health. Like, that breaks down the barrier of, okay, maybe I'm not just some sad sack of potatoes on the couch. Like, maybe I am something. I'm not gonna think negative anymore. I'm gonna think positive and only positive for the years coming. Or until I hit a roadblock, I'm gonna talk to my wife. I'm gonna talk to my husband. I'm gonna talk to my kids, and I'm just gonna talk to them and be like, hey, look, honey, I failed. I'm sorry, but don't worry. Actually, let's get this clear. Let's exclude the word I'm sorry. That should never be a word anybody says to anybody. You're not sorry. That's what my military CO told me. He's like, sorry is just a word, is an excuse. You're not sorry you did this. You did this for a reason. Now figure out that reason and then come and give me a solution to why you did what you did. You know what I mean? You should never be sorry for something you did in life. That's just something that I've learned. Like, I don't usually use the terminology, like if I make a girl upset or I make my mom upset, I don't go, Mom, I'm sorry. I don't do that. What I do is I go to my room, I think, and then I come down and I go, look, this is what I messed up in. I have a solution now. I'm gonna fix it. Not, I'm sorry for hurting her feelings. Now, if I did hurt her feelings, I'll say that, but I'm not going to necessarily say it right away. I'm going to have a solution of why I did it, and I'm going to rationalize it versus jump to an I'm sorry, because that doesn't ever always help. Saying you're sorry doesn't always help. If I piss you off, I could, like, let's say this, bro. Let's put a scenario. Like, let's say I come over and I piss Chloe off and I make her cry. I'm not going to come to you and I'm not going to say I'm sorry right away. That's not something I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down with you and you're going to rationalize with me, be like, why did you do this? And I'm going to think about it and I'm going to give you an answer. And then if that's not a rational answer, then I'll apologize truly for everything I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that happened with me and my best friend that I've known for 12 or 16 years. Like, I knew him since I was 2. Since I came to the United States, I was friends with him. And he just ended our friendship like a year and a half ago on his birthday. Because his girlfriend
went off. Bitch, bro.
Well, his girlfriend went off on me, so I went back off on her. And I was like, I'm not taking this shit from you. Like, I was in the phase of I don't give a shit what I say to anybody in life. Now I do. Like, I'm more careful and PG with what I say to people, if they argue with me. But, I was upset. because she went off on me. So, and then he goes, and then he said, dude, apologize to my girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll be the bigger man. I'll take the higher road and I'll apologize. So I did. And he said that wasn't a sincere apology, so he ended it. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say, because I tried to call her 3 times. I sent her 2 messages with apologies in it. You know, I don't know what else you want me to do. So at that point, that's why I say I'm sorry doesn't always work. You know, saying you're sorry doesn't work. It doesn't fix bridges most of the time. You know, it's not something that works. Sitting down and rationalizing what you did wrong works more, is what I figured out.
Yeah.
Than that. I don't know if you have anything to say on that.
No, I agree. You know, like, I feel like you should, and not talking about that situation specifically because I don't know that situation, but you know, if someone attacks you, you have full right to either retaliate back or, you know, be passive about it. You know, that's the good and bad side, you know, playing parts. But I believe, you know, if someone throws stones, you should be able to you have the right to throw stones back, but, you know, that's not always the best choice. I don't think it's worth ending a friendship over, though. I don't think it's worth causing destruction and cutting ties unless it's like absolutely necessary, you know. If you have like caused trauma to someone or like physical pain, I feel like that's the reason to cut ties. I don't feel like, you know, a miscommunication is something to ever to be like, fuck you, we're no longer communicating. You know, I don't think that should ever be a reason to, or an acceptable reason, you know, to either try to heal or move on or, you know, end something. You know, there is definitely other solutions to, you know,
there's a lot of
go about.
Yeah, there's different solutions and different ways to go about it, and maybe I didn't go about it in the right way, you know, by retaliating, but
you had the right to.
I had the right to. She insulted me and insulted Dylan, so I felt like I had the right to stand up for Dylan in that situation and be like, look, you can't insult us, because she hit us with, oh, you're bouncing jobs, and that was back in like 2020, you know, like when, you know, shit was rough. Like, I was bouncing jobs, I'll admit it. I was bouncing jobs. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I was confused because I had just been let go from a job I'd been at for 6 years. You know, so I was confused. I didn't know what to do. So, yeah, she hit me with that, and I'm just like, I retaliated. I'm like, look, you have no right to say this. You know, like, and then I guess she got butthurt, you know, is the term. Is the term for it. She got butthurt and then communicated it wrong and maybe didn't show my friend the messages. Because I truly don't think she showed him the messages. I think she just told him lies behind it to try to cover up the fact that she was wrong, you know? Or maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I don't know who was wrong in that situation. I never got an answer. So,
honestly, bro, this is something that I want to ask you. And like, I have no problem with hearing you talk about this stuff, but like, is this something that is worth touching back on? And I'm not trying to be a dick or anything.
No, for sure.
But
no, it's not.
I want the best for you, and it seems like your energy is like you're kind of getting a little irritated from the fact that, you know, like, you're remembering this stuff, you know, and then like this shit had already happened, bro. You know, like,
and that's what it is. Yeah,
but like bettering yourself and bettering us, you know, like, that stuff, we just have to let it go. Water off the freaking duck's back, you know, like, that shit does not matter anymore. It sucked in the moment, you know, and if it would still be affecting you, obviously let's address it and try to fix it, but it's just gonna hold you back at the end of the day. You know, that memory is gonna keep you in a mindset, you know. For example, like putting away my Legos and storing them away. I don't want to be focused on them, you know. I want to focus on my career, my things that are bring me joy. Yes, the Legos bring me nostalgia, but like, you know, it's almost a distraction at this point. You know, it's causing a negative rather than a positive. You know, and I just gotta stow that shit away. And like, same with my memories. You know, sometimes, I mean, obviously address everything, you know, and then if you're able to, stow them away, forget about them, let them rest. You know. the beast has already been killed, so why try to revive it, you know?
Yeah, because you're like beating a dead horse. You just keep beating at a situation that doesn't matter anymore. It's just like Rocky said, if I can remember the quote correctly in the Creed movie, he said it doesn't matter how hard you get hit, it's about how many times you can get hit and keep moving forward. And that's a big quote that I stand by.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how hard you get knocked down in life. It's whether or not you can pick yourself up and pick your pieces up and just put them back together like a puzzle and just keep moving forward. It's not you can't dwell on the past. I can't change what happened, nor am I going to, because there's no point. It's at the point in life where I've accepted it, and I've just kept moving forward. I've kept living life. I kept doing what I wanted to do, and things like that. It's yeah, like you said, it's like it's like killing a, what did you say, a bull? Something like.
It's beating a dead horse.
It's like beating a dead horse, or like yeah, just
beating a dead horse, and like I said, what was the purpose of killing the beast? Just to try to revive it again. Like you're not. You know what I mean? You're not elevating at all. You're literally just, again, going backwards.
Right.
And I want to apologize if you can hear any like creaking or background noise. My fiance is dancing to some music upstairs as she's in her office. So.
Oh, I can't hear it. I don't know if the stream can hear it. They probably can, but I don't know. They heard my dogs barking.
Yeah. Just wanted to bring that up, but
yeah. Let's change the topic. Let's talk about like having like a savings account, like.
Oh shit, dude! That's great.
That's a big topic.
Yeah, that's important.
And like having like a, God, what's the word for it? It's having like a consistent wealth versus a great amount of wealth, because no amount of money in the world is going to make somebody happy. Now let's put it like money does make people happy. It does change the attitude, it does change the character and like the motivation in that person, but it's not going to endly make you happy. Like I could have all the money in the world, have a badass house, have some nice cars, but I could still be lonely and sad. I'd rather have somebody in my corner that's making money with me and that's doing things that they love with me versus doing it alone in the end.
I'll be honest, bro. My AirPod died, and I just had to switch over to the cord headphones, so I didn't hear a damn thing you just said.
Okay. No, it's not. Okay, I'll read it.
I'm so sorry, bro.
You're good. No. So like I was saying, like having an ample amount of wealth doesn't make you happy. Money can make you happy because you can do things you love with the person that you're with. But if you're alone and you have money, it's not really making you happy. You're just, you know that you're rich. That's all it is. Like, you're rich, and people think you like are selfish or stuff. Like, I like having money, and I like sharing my money. I don't like having money and not being able to share it with the person I'm with, or my loved ones.
So you're
like
a giver.
family.
So like you when there's gifts to be given, you prefer financial gifts?
I prefer to give than to receive. Yeah, I'd rather make somebody
that's
happy.
me as well.
I'd rather make somebody happy than make myself happy. Because I know making them happy will make me happy. So I'd rather not buy myself the nicest pair of shoes. I'd rather buy my girl a really nice pair of heels or sneakers. Because I know that's going to make her happy. Or a bracelet or a necklace.
That's why with me and my girl, I try to do some matching stuff. I mean, then again, she is her own woman, so she is very picky with what she likes, and I just try to, encourage her to do her and the things that she enjoys. But she definitely is on that level with me where it's like we do like our expensive stuff. I'm not trying to say, don't buy expensive things. Obviously the stuff that I buy makes me happy, to an extent, you know, and I utilize it rather than like try to show it off, you know, or whatever. I will review it, you know, give my opinions on it, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, look what I got and you don't, motherfucker. You know, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, you're
But
not gonna show off. You're gonna show
with
for it.
this, yeah, with the saving stuff, you know, and I'll just speak out of, you know, personal growth, because in my past, and I'm not gonna say what my current situation is now because I don't want that out there.
No, don't worry about it.
But
I'm not gonna say my current
I
situation.
I literally like, was struggling, you know, really struggling saving, you know, really anything. I had like 17 cents to my name, and I was borrowing a lot of money just to pay others back and stuff, you know, and I really become beyond that, you know, and I'm so proud of myself because I was like, you know what? There is no point of me waiting till I start my business to get these. Like, I wanted the Chicago ones, the shoes of my dreams that I've wanted since I started fucking fashion, or that journey of fashion, you know, for myself. When I first started looking at people's YouTube on their you know, recent hauls or whatever, or like how to style this, or like what just dropped or whatever. When I was in school, you know, and I saw those shoes and I wanted them, you know, I wanted those shoes. I didn't want to wait to get those shoes, you know, in whatever plus years it will be when my business has paid for itself. But I was like, I'm gonna save up some money, and I'm gonna make a dream come true, and I'm gonna get these shoes, and I'm gonna use these shoes as motivation to get the next thing that I want, to accomplish the next thing I want, to accomplish the next thing I want, to get the next thing I want, you know, like that's what I want these shoes to do for me. And I swear to you, I feel like just by doing that, and I'm not saying do this, but this is my experience, you know, since I bought those shoes, I feel like I've been making more financial decisions to better myself, where like I'm finding things to, whether it's to sell, to make profit off of, to reviews, to give knowledge off of, or whatever, you know, like, not that I wasn't doing that before the shoes or whatever, but like I just feel like now I have a really clear goal of like what I need to save, how I should save it, you know, to get to where I want, because it was possible once before, you know, to get just an item, you know. Why can't I do this for longevity, you know?
Yeah. Let me look up something. I'm gonna look up I'm gonna look up a song.
I know that
the
was
lyrics.
a lot.
No, you're good. No, I'm gonna look up a song, the lyrics. It's he was talking about having tangible wealth. Some people would rather have tangible wealth than. So, he in the song he goes, most of us would rather have money than tangible wealth, and I thought that was a really good line, and it does have stuff to tie in, like with saving. It's like most people would rather, you know, go to work, get the check, and be able to just blow it, versus having a, you know, or hustling to get
Something
money,
to fall back on.
or hustling versus being able to have money in your bank account to be able to go, okay, you know what, I want to take a vacation to California. I don't want to have to go hustle for it. I have tangible wealth. I have a source of income that's tangible to me, to where I know I have money coming in. So when I go, I have stuff coming in, and things like that. And there was another one where he said, and a great occasion is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed. I think that's a great thing too, dude. It's like, just like you were saying, you know, it's like people would rather focus on the occasions versus having it photographed for memory reasons. I'd rather have things photographed to know I've done that, to know I've been there, to know that my money got me there, and to know that I'm coming home to still have more money and not losing money. I'm using my money to make people happy, to make the loved one that I have happy, to make, if I have a kid, to make the kid happy, things like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel like people definitely have sometimes the wrong views on what they should be saving, I guess, or I should say, people don't really they want instant satisfaction rather than longevity, and with me and you, like being able to give financially and have that cushion or whatever, and we don't have that, it's super hard for us, so we feel some type of way. But in the long run, it's so much better to be able to, for one, be healthier, mentally, physically, and emotionally, than to have $1,000 in the bank, And
Yeah.
it's also like a good thing though to have $1,000 in your bank, but it works both ways. One thing I want to say is that whenever like I personally like try to like find something to better about myself, I start listening more to others around me. And I know I was kind of saying earlier, don't really listen to other people and just kind of do you and or whatever. But there's sometimes that we have ears for a reason, to utilize them and use them properly. And I mean, not always just to be listening to sounds, but like to actually receive input and apply it to oneself, can really benefit you, obviously. So like if someone was saying like, oh, with self-care, like you smell bad, you need a shower, you know what? Instead of being like, oh, fuck you, whatever, I don't need to listen to you. Maybe shower, dude.
Maybe that's something that you need to do. I mean, maybe that's something that will help you. And it helps clear your mind too to hop in a shower. It's your time to alone, or your time with the loved one that you have. It's something that you can just share and cherish versus throw away. You're never gonna regret getting in the shower. You should never regret that. I mean, if you do, then you might need to rethink a few things in your life if you regret hopping in the shower. But it's something that definitely helps. It keeps you going. Because
if you even have regrets, in general, try to minimize them to zero regrets. But it's okay to have regrets. I have to tell myself and remind myself that a lot. There's things that I regret in life, and that's okay. They were mistakes that I have learned from, and don't even call them regrets. Call them lessons, That is something that helps me, with my self-care journey. And I'm going to continue this until the day I die, my self-care journey. But, like, my mistakes, my regrets are not always mistakes. They are lessons at the end of the day. They're teachers. They have taught me right from wrong, inevitably. Oh God, as hell.
Yeah, and I guess
I love those.
And I guess that's the whole thing. Like, does Chloe want to hop in on this?
Should I not sell this book? I kind of want to keep it.
I hear Chloe in the background. Does she want to hop in? She can hop in.
She just wanted to hit the J.
She can hop in if she has some input. I don't care.
But aren't these cats bomb? These are so cute.
Alright.
Oh my gosh, you're
Do you
so
have anything
cute.
else you wanted to add to our self-care topic today? Or self-love?
For everybody that's listening, that's his fiance in the background, or soon to be wife, or is wife.
Yes.
One of the soon to be wife,
Fiance.
right? Fiance. Yeah, that's his fiance in the background. We're seeing if she has anything she wants to add to the conversation. Just, a different point of view as far as a male's point of view. There's a lot of things men can say about this, but it's always nice to have a woman to be able to spit some knowledge on
Yeah.
how she views self-love, because they always have a different idea on it, just because we all grow up different. We're all different people in the end. Nobody thinks the same, nor should they think the same.
Yeah.
But
And I always think it's a great thing to have a woman's input, I feel like we need both, sides. But maybe she'll be a part of this, in the future. Maybe she can really sit down and do that.
yeah, definitely, we can definitely do that. I do know in August I'm getting in a condo. I'm hopping out of here, getting a condo, and then we're gonna set up.
Congrats.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna set up, I think, in our kitchen, because we're it's gonna be 3 guys. I don't think we're gonna eat dinner together in a kitchen, or in a dining room. So I think in the dining room we'll set up a little a circle table with mics. We'll definitely have people on. Like, we'll definitely have Chloe on for a few. We'll have you there, because you're one of the co-hosts with us. Whenever you're able to be there. If not, we'll have you over the voice. Obviously, we'll get you on a phone call or something.
Just so you guys know, I'll be doing some of the media stuff. So, like, thumbnails, YouTube stuff, Instagram posts. I'm going to be trying to give some of my time to help them with that. And while you guys are, checking out the description, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I post some pretty cool stuff on there from time to time. And
yeah, and
I eventually want to get into... Sorry, I want to eventually get into some, more personalized stories where it's just like me giving some information that might benefit you if you're, willing to listen. But also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. Check it out. I have some good stuff on there, in my opinion. I feel like I definitely improve on my content, but it's enjoyable for sure. But that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, I tagged him down in the description below if you guys want to go check him out. I put his link to his YouTube and his Instagram down below. Definitely feel free to hit him up if you guys have any questions about this podcast. We're both open books. We'll both, sit down and we'll take a little bit of our time out of our day, whatever we have in that day, because I do coach a baseball team, and next year the kids are wanting me to become their head coach.
Oh, cool! Right on, bro.
Yeah, which is crazy. So I will be doing that. I think Tuesday to Thursdays I'll be coaching them, and then games on Thursdays. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely get back to the community and do that. That's something I've always wanted to do, and I finally got a chance to jump back into it. But yeah, I mean, definitely feel free to go check him out on. Definitely feel free to go check him out on YouTube, Instagram. He posts a lot of great content. He does a lot of reviews on YouTube, Instagram. He does a lot of clothing photos and shoe photos and self-love photos of himself and his beautiful fiance. They do a lot of amazing things over there. It's amazing, and you can see his progression and progression in life and stuff like that. Gosh, my accent, that's terrible. They can do a lot of things like that in life. And stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else that you wanted to list? I mean, by chance, I think we covered all of our topics for the day.
Just love yourself.
Just
remember to love yourself.
Yeah, seriously, love yourself. Love who you are.
Appreciate the body, the mindset, and the emotions that you're given, because at the end of the day, you are the master of them, and you control that shit. So why don't you make it the best of yourself, and again, just love yourself. I know a lot of people that will go around and be like, I hate how I look, or even I do that. I did that today. I was like, man, I'm ugly as fuck. But, there is moments where I remember that, I'm not really ugly as fuck. And I'm a nice guy. And I have cool clothes that I enjoy a lot because that's obviously my thing. And I'm talented and I have amazing friends, Just start doing shit like that. Just go down the list, start listing off everything that inevitably you are blessed with. But that's all I wanted to say, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is a good wrapping up point.
I think it is too.
And,
what are we gonna do
yeah.
on tomorrow? Or we'll probably brainstorm
I'm
tomorrow.
always down to do one. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe Saturday or Friday or something like that. But
Yeah. So I'm just going to put this out there. So Friday. Actually, I have plans with somebody special that's actually listening
cool.
on this podcast right now with us. So I'm going over there Friday. So definitely for sure we could try Saturday.
Oh yeah,
I
Saturday,
think
bro.
we'll definitely brainstorm during the week. Get some amazing topics down. We'll figure out what's controversial in the world, and we'll see if we can shed some light on it. Maybe we'll talk about how weed and video games and stuff affect people's lives. I don't know.
Hell yeah, bro.
We'll definitely talk about that. We could talk about anything. So
my
if you
fear
want,
of pink flamingos, we could talk about that.
we could talk about my fear of hippos. No, it's fine.
You did not. I'm actually scared of flamingos.
Are you actually scared of flamingos?
Swear to God. On God. They are the creepiest motherfuckers ever, bro.
I'm scared of peacocks, bro. Those things scare the crap out of me, man, when they open their wings. I had a peacock dart at me.
Beautiful. It's so freaking beautiful.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful until they get mad.
Bro. I'm gonna dip.
I
appreciate you, man.
All right, it was a great podcast. We'll catch you Saturday, man.
All right, bro. Peace, love, and guidance.
All right, guys. We'll see. Let me see if that wraps it up. Let me see if I can get another guest on real quick for a little bit of a Q&A on his life and see if he has anything to talk about regarding self-love. If we can't get him in, then we'll cut the podcast here, and then we'll pick it up Saturday. Like I said, shout out to everybody. Everybody, love your life, love what you do, never hate it, never doubt it. Life's not worth about doubting it. It's always worth to just pick up and keep moving forward and keep doing the things that inspire you versus things that you hate. And that's just something that we have to admire and bring into the world. But yeah, I think that's gonna end it here if I can't get my friend in here. Let's actually, let's see if I can get one of my other hosts in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him in here, guys. Alright. I think that's going to wrap it up, guys, then today. Alright. It was great talking to you guys. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Peace, love, and happiness, like my other co-host said.